Professor Wexler had been teaching astrophysical mathematics for 3 centuries, and never once had he experienced genuine fear. His species, the Serenite, had evolved in a stable climate on a geologically dormant world. Violence was theoretical. Danger was abstract. He had always maintained that his classroom was a sanctuary of pure intellectual pursuit. Then the humans arrived. The Galactic Education Coalition had instituted a cultural exchange program. 12 students from Earth, a death world, a planet so hostile that life itself had become a competitive sport, were integrated into the advanced mathematics program at the Celestial Institute. Wexler had volunteered, assuming these young beings would be grateful for the opportunity to learn from superior intellects. He was profoundly mistaken. On the first day, Wexler introduced the problem set: calculate the trajectory of a celestial body through 17 dimensions while accounting for temporal distortions and gravitational anomalies. It was meant to occupy students for a week of careful, methodical work. 15 minutes later, human student Marcus raised his hand. "Professor, this is boring," Marcus announced. "Can we make it a competition?" Wexler's sensory membranes flickered in confusion. "A competition? This is mathematics, not athletics." "Exactly," said another human, Yuki. "So let's make it interesting. Whoever solves it fastest wins. And we have to solve it while." She looked around the room, then at the mathematics equipment, heavy instruments designed for precise calibration. While moving through the lab. Like an obstacle course. The alien students exchanged horrified glances. The Serenites prided themselves on stillness during intellectual work. Movement was for the emotionally unstable. "That is highly irregular," Wexler began, but Marcus was already moving. What followed was chaos. The humans began racing through the laboratory, carrying calculation tablets, solving equations at a sprint. Marcus grabbed a gravitational lens, a delicate instrument worth 10,000 credits, and used it to physically demonstrate the dimensional mathematics, running with it like an athlete with a torch. Yuki climbed onto a desk. Desks were not meant to be climbed on, to access a holographic display from a different angle. Another student, James, began doing push-ups while solving subproblems, claiming that physical exertion improved his cognitive performance. "Stop this immediately," Wexler commanded, his normally melodic voice reaching a pitch of distress. But something unexpected happened. The other students, a Calthian, 2 Venetians, and a young HFY, were watching with fascination. The HFY, who was known for logical analysis, approached Marcus. "Your methodology is inefficient," the HFY observed. "I know," Marcus gasped, still moving. "But it's fun. Try it." To Wexler's absolute horror, the HFY began running calculations while literally running laps around the laboratory. By the end of the session, all 12 humans had solved the problem. The most shocking part, they had solved it correctly. And faster than any group in the history of the Institute. Marcus had finished in 47 minutes. The previous record was 4 hours. "How is this possible?" Wexler demanded. "You approached this with recklessness and disorder. That's how we learn on Earth," Yuki explained, breathing heavily but smiling. "Everything is a competition. Everything is a test. You're always trying to survive, to be better, to push harder. So when we approach a problem, we treat it like an opponent. We attack it aggressively." Over the following weeks, something remarkable occurred. The human approach, combining physical activity, competitive drive, and emotional intensity, began spreading through the classroom. The alien students found themselves energized by it. The Calthians started solving problems while hanging from the ceiling, a flexibility advantage. The Venetians worked in synchronized pairs, creating a mathematical dance. Most shocking of all, test scores improved dramatically across the entire cohort. Wexler found himself standing in his laboratory, watching 7 different species of students engaged in what could only be described as mathematical warfare. They were using furniture as props, creating three-dimensional models by literally leaping between them, and solving increasingly complex problems with a speed and accuracy he had never witnessed. One evening, the Dean of Academic Affairs visited the classroom and stood in stunned silence. "Professor Vexter," the dean said slowly, "your classroom has achieved a 340% improvement in student performance. Yet I observe no traditional teaching methods occurring." "The humans happened," Vexter replied weakly. "I see. And do you object?" Vexter watched Marcus execute a perfect backflip while calculating a 17-dimensional trajectory. He watched Yuki teach 3 alien students a human mnemonic device that helped them remember complex formulae. He observed genuine excitement in the faces of beings who had previously approached mathematics with dutiful neutrality. "No," Vexter admitted. "I do not object. I am simply recalibrating my understanding of what education can be." By semester's end, Vexter's mathematics class had become the most popular course in the institute. Students competed ferociously to enroll. The humans had transformed pure intellectual pursuit into something that engaged the body, the mind, and the spirit simultaneously. Some called it revolutionary. Some called it chaos. The humans simply called it Tuesday. And somehow, that made all the difference. Like this story, drop your comment and subscribe channel. Thank you.